All right, what's up, my people? This is your boy DJ Saint. Welcome to Chatroom 101. Let's get it. Niaje wazito. I hope you guys are good. We've had a conversation with the young people. We have had a conversation with pastors, and so today I have a special one. Today we want to talk to the captain of the youths. We want to talk to Pasi, and we want to talk to our parents. We want to know how can we come into an agreement, or how can we be able to merge young people, parents, pastors, so that we can come into one accord and see how we can help each other. I have very special guests. Some faces are familiar on your screens, others are not. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, grandmas and grandpas, wadau na wadau des, welcome to Chatroom 101. Karibuni, my guest.
Asante.
So for this one,
thank you.
You're free. It's a free space.
Yeah, man.
Initially what I do, I introduce people, but today you guys are so many. Your catalogs, I can't keep up. So I'll have you introduce yourself first, and then we go that way.
Yes, sir.
And then we start with the conversation.
Wow.
Let us know who you are, where you're from, if you have a business, so on and so forth.
Thank you so much, Chatroom 101, for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
My name is Rosie, a.k.a. Roslyn Ngendo. My other name is Madam Royal Finesse. By the virtue that I own a business by the name Royal Finesse, I do events planning and decor. Was born in 2023, and we are growing steadily. I also go by Tamara Roses.
Okay.
It's my, I won't say nickname, but a name that was mad. My name, Roslyn, as Roses, and Tamara, I was named after my grandma.
Okay.
So I'm a mother of two. I have a boy, Gerard, and a daughter, Royalty.
Okay.
And I live in Seattle, and I'm so happy to be here today.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you. Pasi wewe si mgeni.
Mimi si mgeni hapa. Naitwa Steve Ndegwa. I'm a pastor. I'm a businessman. I'm a father. Me tu ni ule mse.
Yule.
Karibu, thanks Chatroom 101.
Yes.
Fiti kuwa hapa na kubonga na wase.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Adi Captain.
Yes, sir.
You were here last time, my guy.
Yeah, man.
Wacha tuoneka umeongeza catalog.
Catalog. Yeah, man. Kwa majina naitwa Freddy Mgari. I'm a husband. I'm a father of 3. I think hapo ndo tumefika full stop for now.
By the way, ulisema vasectomy aje?
Vasectomy hiyo ni another story for another day, si ndio?
Okay.
I'm a youth enthusiastic. I'm a fond believer of the next generation that's coming up. I'm a director of Daib organization that's formed in Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
I'm a business, I would say mogul maybe at the moment.
Yes.
And also still learning.
Yeah.
I'm a student of life as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Hey, maze, nyinyi wote ni ma business. Even me, I'm a businessman.
piga biashara.
Yes, you
Piga
are.
biashara.
Yeah.
So, the reason why I have you here, guys, I'll lay a foundation and have a discussion of it. But see, I've heard pastors before. They came and we were talking about young people. We have seen young people neglecting church. And also kind of Kenyan community. And then we have heard youth, they have come and they have said their part. And so for this one, I wanted to have a parent, I wanted to have a pastor and a young person on behalf of other young people, and to see how we can come up to a way we can, have a solution for whatever is going on in our community. So Pasi, I'll start with you. Mumeaccused sana that you guys, the services, you're holding services for too long. Their dressing code, you're not allowing them in church. Or you're doing services in your own vernacular languages. So my question to you, do you think parents, they have neglected their part as parents and they are putting that on pastors? Pastors, they just want to do their own thing and they don't care about the next generation?
Mlitafuta mapasta wote mko na milioni.
Tunaweza kuona sisi. I think the reason, I think kwa mapasi wengine, not touche but ni wazae, and I don't think kidogo hawajaelewa culture ya stato. So I think you're the better flexibility yako, it's a bit better. Unaweza understand what we are young. And as Yaro says, Pastor Steve ni pasi wa mayang.
Yeah, man.
So
you are the best for that seat.
Yeah. I think that question is loaded, and I'm going to keep it short because tuko wengi.
Yeah.
And when it comes to answer that question, long time ago, all of us, we were taught that charity starts at home. So everything starts and stops at home.
Yeah.
And there is the expectation of what the church should do. And I think also as a community, we should get away from expecting what the church should do and get down to a point of what are we doing in our houses.
Yeah.
Because I came here as a single man. Freddy amenichomea hapa amejiita husband. Na mimi samani na watoi, watu wadhani mimi ka baby daddy. So na mimi husband. We have a so I think in our homes, one of the biggest challenges that I think we face, and the reason why I say charity begins at home, ni kwa sababu we are raising our kids when we are away, right? We are working so much, and when we are not working, we are resting so we can work again.
Yeah.
And so that is why the whole responsibility lies on the church. So when we talk about church, we say, I'm going to church.
Yes.
So if I'm going to church, anytime you say you are going somewhere, it's a personal decision for you to go that place. You're volunteering to go to that place.
Right.
So I think it's you don't choose where to be born. So you don't choose to be at home. You're always at home.
Yeah.
So if anything should be done, it should start from home, so that this person, wherever they decide to go, whenever they're going to decide to go, then that person can continue building from there. The church cannot do everything. Yeah.
Okay. I'll come to you, Mom, as a mom of two, right?
Yes.
Do you think parents, they have neglected their kids and they are throwing them to church? There is a balance that need to be done when it comes to them with the church and the parents and pastors?
Well, I tend to disagree because looking at the church, it's probably one day out of 7 days.
Yes.
Okay. So then how would we quantify the fact that we have neglected our responsibilities to the church?
Yeah.
But I believe parents and the church can work together to bridge the gap that we are not able to take care of, especially when we are working and away, trying to parent at the same time, because it's really, really hard to manage work-life balance and parenting at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of challenges that are creeping into the household, and that makes the parents look like they have slacked a little bit when it comes to parenting.
Okay.
And the challenges that our children are facing by us working so hard, thinking we are giving them a better future, can also be worked along with the pastors in church. However much it's one day within the week, there are other things that we can bridge or build within the church that can also help us during the week. To curb against some of the challenges. Like if we had some resource centers in churches that are open and there's a very good structure that when our kids leave school, there is a church program or a youth program on Tuesdays or on Thursdays that can help mold and continue teaching them better. And parents come in later, maybe at 7 and take over. Then I think the two can be brought together to work in harmony to help us raise our kids as a community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adi Captain.
Yes, sir.
I'll come back to you now.
Yeah, man.
Let me come to you. Last time you were here, you talked about the Sierra Umoja Football Club, right?
Yes.
I think that's somewhere most of the young people come to maybe relieve their stress.
Yeah.
Or maybe, keep themselves busy.
Yeah.
My question to you is about pastors and parents.
Right.
When you guys have games, Do they show up ama inakuwaga tu ni kelele ya social media? Because I think that's one way of supporting young people, right?
Yeah. I think that's a good question, man. And credit, I'll give it to Pastor Steve. One thing about Pastor Steve is most of the time when you hang out now, you just be yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a day we were having a conversation. A couple of my friends watakuwa labda wanapiga gauge. Pasi yako hapo tu ana hang out na sisi tukicheza game. Pasi amekam most of our games. So nampatia credit. And to other pastors, I can't speak for them.
Yeah.
Because I believe everybody has something that they're doing on a different life and so forth. But like what Rose had said before, a church is just one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for us to be able to practice to be better, kama utafungua tu Bible on a Sunday, the rest of the week itakuwa ni tough sana.
Yeah.
So I think the challenges zenye mavijana wana go through sana ni some people might be going to church for a couple of reasons. Some youth might be going to church because their parents are going to that church.
Yeah.
And some people might go to church because now things have changed. Generation yetu watu wanadai.
Yeah.
Unataka at least kitu kufanyikia, lazima pasi moja apigiwe. But other than that, one thing maybe pastors might not be aware, they might see what people want to show them.
Okay.
But deep down, kuna deeper issues that happen kwa community sahi.
Yeah.
Yeah, than that.
Unaweza tupea an example of a deeper issue.
Yeah. I hope maybe message naongea na youth na pole kwa ule msetapata hii message. Nilipigwa call na one of my very close friend. Ni dem, you know, a single mom na amezoea madawa. Ananichapia ni aje Freddy, nisaidie na hii do.
Yeah.
Niende nikabuy dawa, jinsi nipotumeza hii dawa siwezi fanya job. Unaona? So inakuwa ni situation ya ndakupatia do ya dawa, kitu kifanyiki tena ni kwangu, ama ndakuacha hivyo fall down. So kama sai drugs, especially fentanyl, is the biggest issue that's happening within our community.
Wow.
Na hiyo ni challenge I think maybe most preachers are not aware of unless you hang out na mavijana.
Yeah.
So majority of preachers wanajua mambo ya pombe, mambo ya mandukulu, mabangi. Lakini fentanyl say it's available and it's actually now started affecting our community, especially with the young folks. Yeah, man.
Pasi, fentanyl venye amedai. When it comes to church, I have seen now pastors, everybody wants to buy a building. Why is it let me call it charismatic? When they are buying a church, they don't have a vision of maybe having a facility for young people, a basketball court, a place whereby young people can come in between the weekend, you know, do 1, 2, 3. Why are they not concentrating on that? For them, it's just to have a building to be used only Sundays.
Ulisema hii kitu amweditigi.
Atueditigi inaenda raw and uncut.
So this is my thought. Most of our pastors, and I think respectfully I'm talking about mostly the pastors that have come, they come from a generation. You see, you cannot do anything better than what you saw being done, right?
Yes.
So this generation grew up in a place whereby buying a property for a church was an achievement.
Right.
That was the ultimate goal for the church, to buy a building and have services, and that was it. That was a vision. So that is the school of thought.
Yeah.
Now we came here with the same school of thought. We want to buy a place whereby we'll be comfortable. Now you can never, as a visionary, you can only reach where your vision is, right?
Yes.
So if your vision is getting a building only, then when you get a building, you have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And for you to be able to know what is needed now, you have to be out there to know what is really needed. That is why you find most of this building being bought. They have nothing to do with the younger generation. Is a bunch of us old folks. I call myself old sometimes, depending on who I'm talking to. It's just the old folks in a church. They have bought the building. There is pride of owning a building, but there is nothing really that is going to interpret to the next generation. Why? Because like what Freddy said, they are not out there to know what is going on with the young people.
Yes.
If you gave me $1 million today, with the way my vision is, I will weigh between, do I buy a church building or do I buy a place whereby I can get a basketball court, some after school program that can be able to help the community, because I have gone out there and seen the need for that. But if as a visionary you've not gone out there to see the need, then you are building on the vision that you came with. What you thought a church should do, own a building. But if you own a building, if you cannot trace the young people in your building, in what you own, then it's all in vain.
Yeah. So they need to change their...
I think they need, we need, I want to put myself there. We need, so that I don't get a backlash. We need,
You're smart, man.
we need to get out there and know how our young people are living day-to-day life, right? Freddy said that there's fentanyl that is going around. We need to know how do they get it. We need to know why are they going to it, right? We only grew up knowing drugs is alcohol and marijuana and cigarettes. That's all. But this generation doesn't even care about those things anymore. In fact, if you go to a club, you find is the mid-30s and 40s and 50s that are in clubs. These young people, they don't go to clubs anymore. They do house parties. They do house parties that have every kind of a drug that they would want to use. So I think if you don't go out there as a leader, as a pastor, as a leader, you will not know that is the need that is out there. You will assume it is we just need a church, a place for people to meet. So what I would say, I think if God has blessed your ministry with young people, hang around them so that you can understand their need and be able to meet their need. Otherwise, we are going to continue with this cycle. And to be honest, if you look at some of our parents, the most they can be active is 20 years from now. Somebody is 55, 20 years, they're going to be 75, right? So it's 75, you should be retiring, somewhere getting close to going to a nursing home. So then we are building for that generation, we are failing.
That's true.
Otherwise, the same church that closed because they could not get young people to carry on with their vision, that might be us. We might not be able to have a generation to take over from what we are building.
I'm going to buy the building.
And these young people are going to buy the building and start a club in that building.
That's true.
Rosie, parents. Pasi has talked about house parties, right?
Yes.
I have seen most of our parents, their vision is to come to States, make money, and then buy buildings, back home plots. They have a retirement plan for themselves. But then we see them here 20, 30 years down the line, they're still doing the same thing. And they don't have time for their kids. They're not spending enough time with their kids. Because it's not like back home whereby you can leave your kids with a neighbor and then you can go hustle for some, 1, 2, 3, and then come back and your kid is okay. What can you tell that parent who their work is double shift, but they have no idea what their kids do? Because I think a couple of years ago, I might be wrong, you guys can correct me, there was a young boy who was killed, I think, at a gas station. And then when the research was done, he had posted a video on IG, either IG or TikTok, with a gun. And the parents never knew he had a gun. What can you say to those parents?
First and foremost, the moment you get married to have children, then you have to set your priorities right as a parent. Because our children are supposedly our future. And having children you're not able to take care of or be fully responsible for until they're capable of taking care of themselves is a waste of time. And is also a losing game. So parents who are getting children should be able to understand that they need to intentionally take responsibility of the role they have chosen to be. And that is a parent. Most of our children spend a lot of their time in school. and the small percentage of time they spend with us, how best are we able to monitor or even interact with our own children to find out the new things they have learned or the things that are going on around them? How first are we to understand that our children are changing? You cannot be a parent if you are double shifting, if you are not making sure that your children's homework is done, if you are not participating in your children's school activities, if all you do is probably have that one day to go to church and expect the pastors to support you raise your child, you have to do it from home. And I can actually tell parents that you have to be very, very intentional when it comes to parenting, because it's the choice you made at the point you started having children. We may want to buy the plots, we may want to buy wealth, but what good is all this wealth if we have no generation to leave it to?
That's true.
Parenting is one thing. Having a generation that is responsible is another thing. So you will have to choose your hard. At one point, you may have to balance between working double shift and giving your children the best you should give them as a parent. Because you're the first teacher your child gets to meet. So be the teacher you're supposed to be, and then be the parent. And I promise you, we will both be able to collaborate, even with the church, to bring up very responsible children who are able to beat these odds of getting into drugs and substance abuse. I believe some of the houses, these house parties are ours as parents. So where are we when our children are throwing parties to take drugs and bring their friends or raise guns? Then we are failing as parents when we are not able to categorically be responsible for our children. So parenting is very key. Yes.
Nice.
If I can say something with what to add to what Rosie said. As a pastor, I'll give two examples that I've handled personally. One was this parent who had a problem with their teenager, and they came to me and they said, "I've given this child everything. I've given him everything he has asked me to give him. I've given him a new phone. He uses the latest model. He has a PS5 that time. He has TV everywhere. He has everything that he asked for. I always give him. If he needs money, I always give him. What does he need?" So we started talking. And after a chat with the child, I discovered one thing. And I said, this child doesn't need what you give him. You assume he needs things, but he doesn't need things. This child said he never sees the mother. It was a single mother. He said, "I never see her." And yes, she has given me everything, but the reason why I'm resulting into doing 1, 2, 3 is because I don't have time with her. And I said to this mother, I said, you have to choose one thing, like Rosie was saying. Either you work, get money to buy the world for your child and lose that child at the end of it. Or you reduce working so that you can spend time with your child. And I like what Rosie said, that you are the first teacher. So spend time with them to teach them so that when they go out there, they can tell between fake and the real thing because they've learned from their parents. Second example is this single mother who had a daughter who came to my office. And the daughter was going crazy. And of course, African parents, for some reason, the biggest fear that an African mother has is for their daughter to get pregnant before.
Totally true.
So the girl was playing around with boys, and the mother was very concerned. So they came to my office and said, "Pastor, you're the only one who can talk to her, make her understand how important and how dangerous it is what she's doing." And the daughter told me one thing that made me chase her out of my office and talk to the mother. The daughter said, "Pastor, if my mother can tell me who is that man that comes to our house on weekends and sleeps over, if she can tell me who that is, because that's not my dad, and I've not been introduced to him, then maybe we can have a discussion." And I had to tell the girl, "Wait for your mother outside." And I said, "I've got nothing to add. You are the best teacher. And unfortunately, your daughter is a fast learner. So I think parents have a big portion to play, and we should not be blinded by the dollars.
Okay. On that note, you talked about the young people. Pasi, this is for you. I have come to see that most of the young people that we have lost, manze, they are doing really good in life. Like they have graduated from university. Yeah. Others they have excellent jobs, good paying jobs. Why is it ni wao tu maze inawaendea mramba maze? Why could it be? What could be the reason?
I think it's a topic to be discussed by people, but I believe that I believe one of the biggest reasons why that is happening is, first of all, our African parents. I always tell my American friends that our African parents believe education
is the key
is the only key. Like there is nothing. Is the only key to success. It doesn't matter how fast you run. It doesn't matter how well you can draw. It doesn't matter how well you can sing. If you're not educated, you're done.
That's true.
So some of these kids that we may think they are successful because of their careers, they did it for their parents.
Yeah.
Because that is how their minds were conditioned. They were never given a chance to become themselves. So they became a nurse, they became a doctor, they became an architect because of the pressures of life. And what you understand about pressure, it can build up to a certain point. And when it gets to that boiling point,
it can blow up.
Then it's going to blow up.
Yeah.
And some of this is the pressures that a child has collected over the years. Being told you're not good enough with a diploma. You're not good enough with a bachelor's. You're not good enough with a master's. You know, you are not like so-and-so. Be like so-and-so. So I think that's why you look at it and you find that some of the most successful kids end up in this way or the other. Also, when you're pursuing that, there's a lot of loneliness that you experience. So I think that's my opinion, that I feel like it is not that is the smartest that are living. I just think it's because of their achievement makes us term it as success. But necessarily they are living their parents' dreams. And maybe we should let our kids just be kids.
Freddy, we have seen. You have something to say?
Well, I wanted to just reiterate something small that the pastor said.
Yeah, sure.
Apart from children living their parents' dreams or whoever's dreams that they're living, you find that also the parenting styles in the United States and parenting styles back home are totally different. And to add on to the fact that we are extremely busy, and we have also said at home, we are not taking anything below 4.0 GPO. So this child who is not even given time of day by the parent is doing the best they can, and probably the best they can is added with drugs. And you have no time to even to get to know that. Then you realize that they will go ahead, be who they want to be, and eventually probably succumb to drug and substance abuse or overdose. And why? Because they did the best they could, they graduated, they are pursuing their careers, but behind the scenes something passed you by. You did not get a chance to realize that he was also becoming something else. So parenting skills back home and right here, and the amount of exposure our children have here is very, very different. And the things they get exposed to and how quick is also totally different. So parents still have a key role of being very intentional as they do their parenting.
True.
Yes.
Freddy.
Yes, sir.
My young peoples, they have decided to separate themselves. You have Daima.
Yes.
There is another young person called Justin.
Yes.
He has Out of the Box.
Yes.
With you guys, with those two groups, how are you working to have young people and be able to collaborate with pastors and parents?
I think that topic is really, it's a big topic to discuss about it. But I think the biggest issue is we really have to ask ourselves, America, what I know is not for everybody. And nobody prepares you when you come to America. Majority of us learn as we grow. You know what I mean? And if you really think about it, based on our culture, where we come from, this is a very isolated country. What it means, for me to get hold of Pasi to hang out, I have personally to work on my schedule to get hold of him. Unaelewa? Mtaani tuko tunajua from Monday to Friday, uko busy, uko shule, sasa tunakutana. Mtaani unajua ikifika news ya saa moja, you watch the news, unangojea English when 9 p.m. You know, that's our culture, man. But here, when was the last time you saw news, man?
Bro, I don't even watch TV.
See?
My guy.
So inamaanisha that culture brings people together. Unajua, even if you're raised by a single mom, you know 7 p.m. ndakuwa na mom tuna watch news, after hapo vioja makamani. Unaelewa? So here we don't have that, bro. And parents really have to go and dig deep and find about it. Parents akileta hapa mtoi, the number one challenging thing, akitoka huko home, labda wengine hajaambiwa, majority of the job here, for you to just make that living, you might need to work extra hard. What does that mean? It means you might not find time to spend with your kid. So I think personally, the biggest issue that the whole community is lacking, it's a platform. Unaelewa? Place yenye unajua, leo kuanzia 5 to 7 p.m., mtoi wangu ataenda kwa hii mahali akaa pale na mayouth wenzake wabonge. Unaelewa? So ndo ukipata watu wanatumia hizi drugs, it's just a lonely country. You know what I mean? Some people say this is a better country. After this, it's heaven. Unaelewa? Which is true. I think so sometimes.
It is.
Because you know, what's available here, man, hapo huwezi lala njaa. Unaelewa? Sio kama mtaani, mtu amesema makosa job. Job iko. Lakini hiyo platform, big up to Justin, manzi. Hiyo platform ya kuleta ma youth, tunakuwa na engagement ya kubonga, kudance. I think it plays a big role because after we did the Daima event, these artists that were singing, they were so inspired. Up to now, unaona release songs zingine. Unaona? Even though they might not make anything from it, but they're living their dream, they're living their passion. So we need to come together, bring the preachers together, pasi wajanja, wala wamejua kuna shida. Unajua? Na majority ya watu hiyo pasi wanaonyeshanga kenye wanao. But how do tuna hang out now? We know deeper than what they know.
That's true.
So we need to work on a platform whereby we bring everybody not just meeting on Sundays. Tuesday kuna kitu tunafanya, Wednesday kuna kitu tunafanya, Friday kuna kitu tunafanya, na tuna incorporate watoi. Man.
So with that, I have talked to Justin and I've talked to you, and I think you guys have the same kind of vision. Have you guys ever thought to collaborate and come up with the same thing instead of having your group, Justin his group? Because I think we are going to end up like our pastors. They have their different cocoon, you know, this church. Like we have 52 churches.
Yes.
And actually now we have 53. Another one has opened.
As we speak.
There is another that has been opened. So you see, it's like we are not solving a problem. We are running away. We create our own cocoon. And then in that cocoon there is a problem. They run away from that. They build another one. So to avoid that, have you guys ever sat down and be like, Justin, I think we have the same vision. How can we collaborate and be one instead of having two groups? And you guys are targeting the same young people.
I've had a chance to sit down with Justin. We did it at Starbucks few months ago, and we discussed about the vision that we have, that kind of stuff. I think if you think about it, there's so much potential in the US.
You
know what I mean? That's why you see it's never competition, the way I'm looking at it. You will find Home Depot and Lowe's, they're in the same compound, selling the same thing, but none of them is actually going bankrupt. What it means, they can never sustain everybody and not be able to have it. So me kuwak na Justin, kuna environment yako comfortable, na kuna environment ko comfortable. He's really good. As far as I do know, he's good on basketball. Na mimi najua niko poa in football. So language letters out of basketball, I cannot resonate with. But most importantly, it's still the same thing. We all need each other as a community. So collaboration is always a must. Hata event tulikuwa tunafanya ni venye alikuwa caught up. But I don't think we might have that.
Pasi, what's your take on Justin and Freddy groups?
You know, I was watching Freddy. And you guys had, you made me click that thing at 3 a.m. I was supposed to be in prayer. But I saw that and I say, I have to watch this because it said, what was the caption again? Pastors what?
Oh, must apologize.
Must apologize. I said, pastors and parents must apologize. So I said, I will look for the youth and apologize. Yeah. But also, I will look for the youth and tell them, don't build what we have built.
Yeah.
Because what we have built is different people building little kingdoms. Mm-hmm. And my advice would be to Freddy and Justin, and there are many young people out there, even the ones that only have 5 or 10 people that are trying to achieve the same thing because they have seen a problem.
Yeah.
And only this generation can change it.
Yeah.
When I talk to Freddy, when I talk to Justin, when I talk to all of them, I tell them, you're the only one who can change the story for your generation. So what I would tell them is that let us not say the analogy of let us not be like our fathers. Let us not build our own thing, build here, build there. Yeah. How about how can we come together? Yeah. I support you, do your thing. Yeah. And you come support me, do my thing. I'm there. And I'm not just there as a person. Yeah. Because I've seen us doing that. When I show up to an event, people say Pastor Steve of JCC was there. Yeah. But I was the only one. My members were not there. Probably did not even announce to them that I'm going there. Because maybe I don't want them to come there and be stolen. Yeah. Because I hear this. I don't know how you steal an adult. But I think it would be more powerful if they came together and said, this is your vision. I will come because I understand your vision. We are different, but when you're planning it, I'll come and plan with you and see how I can bring my people, the people that everybody has an influence. The people that are influenced, I bring them there. Yeah. Everybody brings, and you build that unity. Yeah. That when I see Freddy as a soccer player and Justin as a basketball player, how about we have an event in the summer that has basketball, soccer, all these things that we can do, public speaking and the other gifts that are out there. That will be more impactful and it will be stronger because now they are forces that have joined together and it will leave a big impact that way than I do my own thing. Then 2 months you invite to your thing. I come, do your thing. Then the other month I do my thing. We will end up being where our fathers are, and that is where we are trying to get out.
Not good. Yeah.
I am looking at it in a very structured way. Okay. If both parents and church. First of all, let me talk about the 2 youth groups that are coming up. There is enough for all of us. Yes. And what the vision of Justin's group and Daima could be different, working with the same people, but there would be so much that we can borrow from each other. Yes. So Justin's group can equally grow up and stand strong. Daima will grow up and stand strong. But there's going to be a point of convergence where we all have to sit down. And today we are going to support Justin's youth group. Then the next time we are coming to support Daima because what they're having is totally different from what Justin is having and we can learn from it. Yes. So I'm looking at the church and I'm looking at the systems we have. We cannot continue to have our church as a place of service only. Yes. And in a country where there is plenty of opportunities, we can use our churches as schools. We can use our churches as resource centers for information. The basketball is a recreation activity that can be introduced. Yes. How else can we marry parenting and church? In a way that, like Freddy said, a parent may not be able to make it to pick their child at 4 o'clock. But the school bus can drop them at that point in church, which is a known location, for a program that runs between 4 and 6:30 when the parent is coming off and is able to pick the child. In which case a child has been enriched, has learned something, has interacted, has gotten to mingle and taken off the steam and energy that they probably had suffocating them from school. I believe that there is more our churches can do apart from continuing to grow in numbers.
Yes.
52 is a lot of churches just for
53.
53, just for one day of service. And I'm also caught up wondering, who are the congregations we have in these 52 churches? There's so many. Could it be 5? And are they the very elderly? Could it be a youth, or is it mixed? Why are we splitting into these so many churches? And why can't we instead merge our resources and work together to help us actually raise very responsible community members?
True. I would say something to that. First, I think you like Rosie said, pastors, these leaders, they have different visions, but we have the same destination. We want to take people to heaven, right? Want people to live well. So as much as we cannot have one because of the different dynamics of leadership and visions, I think I like the idea of integrating our services and what we can do with church to influence or even be a blessing to the youth. Now, this is what I would say though, and I think this is what I'm going to challenge Justin, Freddy, and Justin, he was supposed to be here, so I'm just saying his name. He
will. Next time.
Freddy and other youth leaders here. There is a place you guys are failing the youth. Where you're failing the youth is that God has given you a voice. You can go to a pastor and say, Pastor Steve, you don't use your facility on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I would like to use it on Wednesday for this reason. Then Pastor Steve says, no, I cannot allow you. Or you're going to pay $3,000. And we say, it's money we don't have, but we need it. And he says, no, you cannot. You are going to have a basis to say, we went to Pastor Steve, we asked for space to meet because we have something we want to do with the youth. And he said, no. Then you can blame Pastor Steve. But you guys need to take advantage of those properties, those halls, and go to those places and say, because these people will not see it. We are not going to see it. I come to your event and I see what you're doing. And I see how impactful it is. I see it from there. But I cannot come and do what you're doing. But if you came to me and tell me this is what I want to do, the only thing that I don't have, you have it. I don't have a hall, you have it. I have the vision, you have the hall. So give me the hall and I'll do this. Basketball. Come to a church and say, Pastor, how many youth do you have that love basketball? Let us do a youth service, find out youth. Every Thursday we are going to meet at this place. We are going to be having basketball or soccer or something. I would challenge you guys to go out there and make us pastors and leaders and parents support your vision through your actions. Don't just stay out there and say they don't support us, they don't come. If you're not coming to you, I think it's a high time you come to us. Otherwise your children are going to blame you for the same thing you're blaming us for.
Rosie, you have something to add?
Well, I think he has tried protecting the pastors from not being able to diversify in terms of activities, because we had back home we would have Tuesdays for Bible study in church or in parish member. I don't know if we have those here.
So let me just and yes, I have the pastor. When I go to the fellowship, they may say that, so I have to protect them. But this is what I'm saying, Rosie. They don't know.
Okay.
Because they came to a new country. They are parents, but they, like for example, in our church, there was a time we used to do something for the youth in church. Then we discovered some parents have challenges of bringing their youth. So what we started doing is they go to different homes for youth fellowship. We do it every other Friday. teens fellowships. So you do it every other Friday, different homes. And parents like that because they're able to carpool, they're able to talk to other parents, and they meet every other Friday in different homes. The kids like it because they feel like it's a hangout. So we teach them the word, we talk to them, they hang out, then they go home. I think if we wait for the pastors to come and to create these programs, I have a policy in our church. I tell people, if there is a ministry that you think we need in this church and we don't have it, create it. Come to my office and say, there is this ministry that we don't have, and I would like us to have this ministry. And we are going to start it because you have seen a need. So I would say the same thing. There are things that we see, but if we don't say them, they are going to be left undone.
Unsaid.
Yeah, unsaid.
So this is a very important conversation we're having right now, in a way that we both have the burden to share this out and call out everybody to start participating or getting involved in this meaningful engagements for our children and youth. Okay.
But see, I think kutetea Freddy about coming to you guys, I think pastors, you guys are not together. You have your own cocoons. We have seen so many altars being raised ever since I came to United States. We are just having altars being raised. And then when a certain church has a youth event, another pastor is like, you guys better not go to that church because we are scared of losing those young people to that church. And so Freddy having an event in a, let me say, safe place is to be able to avoid, if they hear an event is at JCC, kuna wase wa church ingine watadai, mazee mimi sipendi kwenda hiyo church, ama mzazi kwa usijaribu kwenda hiyo church, ama pastor kwa zile nisijaribu kusikia mmeenda hiyo church. We have seen couple of young people who now they are no longer saved because of how their pastor doctrine treated them. Because when they wanted to go to a certain church, had an event like dancing and stuff, because that's what young people love, and the pastor was like, nijaribu nisikie umeenda huko. I know now the doctrine to them was, you're my daughter, you're my son, I'm your papa, you should listen to what. So with that, how can pastors like try for the sake of young people wakuje pamoja tukue wase, let us keep our theology, our doctrines kando, tushikaneni sisi wote to support our youth.
I think said this is a safe place.
Yeah, it's a safe place.
That will never happen.
I think
that will never happen.
Say it.
Never.
Wacha niongeze. Let Freddy kwanza ongeze.
Wacha niongeze ndio kwako kwa rahisi. I think Pastor Stephen, if you're too very honest, I don't think you pastors are united, man.
Awako.
Yeah, let's just be honest, because honestly, program nasema mkona youth on Friday, every other Friday, mkona teen every. I've never heard about it. And I go to church. Inamaanishaje? They are not in sync.
They are not.
So I guess every vision is different. So the biggest challenge kwenye nakuja kwanza sana kwa preachers ni maze, kama Yesu angekuja kama tuseme preacher hivyo. I think wengi wetu tungeyokoka, bro. Because you know why? I'm young. I'm learning. Nimefanya dhambi. But ya labda dem ball. Unaelewa? Ile perspective pasi ananiangalia.
Wewe ni msherati.
You're going to hell.
So natoka hii church naishia church nyingine. So wewe uniambie nimeka event kwa pasi, labda kwa pasi. Na ulikwambia ni nani?
Msherati.
How you going to attend that event?
Siwezi kuja hiyo church.
Sababu ni washerati.
Hiyo church siwezi.
Unaona? Istoshe, the biggest challenge yenye pasi mimi naona yenye mko nao saa hii, please. Kama wewe wenye uko na mayangi. Ama preacher wenye ama mna group yenye WhatsApp. Wacha nikuambie kama leo silikuwa na event na kama. Nimeshindwa kwenda church zingine. Because at the end of the day, the service is almost at the same time. Unaniget? Now, I know you guys have a chairman, I believe. Kuna chairman. Kumpata imekuwa ni ngumu kidogo. But at the end of the day,
yote ya mayouth.
Waja come. Hata honestly mjui nani, lakini najua kuna chairman mahali.
Kuna chairman mahali.
So pasi, I think the biggest issue, pastors and preachers have become very judgmental. And are looking down on people who have made sins. Yani hata Mungu mwenyewe angekuwa anaweza kufungua hiyo group ya WhatsApp. Angewatoa admin. Unaelewa? Which is, I think, in life, when you are a sinner, everybody gets that chance to be corrected.
That's
and
true.
to be loved more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kuna watu wametoka pulpit because they did a sin.
Yes. Kama snatch.
Na kuna tustaje bro. Tustaje.
Meanwhile, God is a God
Yeah,
chance.
na kuna mavijana saa hii as we speak wanajuanga huyo pastor ni mukora.
Pia kuna mademo ametoka church juu walipata ball.
Walishibishwa. So pastor, I think even though tunasema shida iko kwa youth, you guys are confused a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry to say that.
So shida ndio inaanzia.
Shida inaanzia kwa mapasi.
Yeah.
Because kama nyinyi mkicreate foundation ya mkona system ya kama pasi, wewe unajuanga hii Sunday labda naenda kupreach church ya huyu, hii Sunday nyingine naenda kupreach kwa church ya huyu, hii Sunday nyingine naenda kupreach kwa church ya huyu. Inatusaidia sisi ma youth tunajua okay, kuna unity kutoka wapi? Na God is what?
Moja.
God is moja. Na God is love.
Yeah.
I don't think there is love in there.
There is no love. And also tuingize wazazi, pia wazazi wameshift machache mbaya. Tuseme leo pasi amekuwa na pasi amepreach vifiti church yake. Huyo pasi ameambiwa na mama kadhaa, wewe una preach poa kuliko pasi. Uko na word mzuri sana, tufungue church. Anaishia anafungua church for few days inakuwa kwa hoteli Joanna finances za kwenda place. Alafu wakishatoa do wanaishia wako wazazi wako na mayouth na mayouth walikuwa na mayouth wengine kwa the same church walikuwa wamecreate hiyo bond. Then wanatoka wazazi si lazima wafuate wazazi. Already mayouth they have been confused. Why are we going to another church and we already had this one? But now parent is like upasi hana word, upasi ni yako na word. So parents and pastors, I think they need wanastahili come up na kitu maze, kwa sababu I think that the reason why we have all these churches and we are preaching the same God ni hizo kukosa kusikizana.
I think
so wewe utatetea mapasi na atetea wazazi.
Mimi nitasema hivi. This is the thing. Mimi na nitauza nyinyi. Imekuwa about 12 years now. Bado ninaitwa pastor wa youth. 12 years, right? Bado sijagonga hata 40. But naitwa pastor wa youth, right? Is not nothing. It's not about branding, but it's because of how I interact with them.
Yes.
Right? So, honestly, for you to expect us to think the same, now when you mmekataa kuita pastors of my youth, itakuwa ngumu. So, there is that unity that you're talking about. The reason why tuko na hizo mmesema 53. 53 na mnaisa bigi.
Lazima.
The reason why tuko na hizo zote, of course there is the genuine part of different visions. But also I believe and I want to say that I don't think there is a day that all of us are going to agree to do some things together. And that is why I'm saying then you guys have to there's a word that says when a man is pushed to the wall, they have two options. Either to fight back or to surrender. You guys, you either surrender and you fail the next generation, or you fight back. And that's why I'm saying and I'm challenging. Now you guys come to us. Come talk to us. Come to Pastor Steve. If he doesn't understand your vision, go somewhere else, you know? And by you avoiding to do an event in a certain church because there are some people who will not come, you are just recreating the same thing. You are just advancing the disunity that is there. Because you're saying, I want many people to come. And I want a neutral space. But by you looking for a neutral space, then you have taken the chance of the building that this church has bought to support you go down in the drain because they don't know what to do with it just because you cannot do an event there. Because some people may not show up. So you say they are not supporting you. But if I have a building that I paid $2 million and you're asking me for $500 to support you go and rent a hotel room, and I can give you this building for free, you see itakuwa challenge kiasi kusema okay nitakupatia hii dola lakini nitakupatia mara ngapi.
Pasi lakini kuna mapasi already washa buy building and then when you go to them mazi wanakulipisha na wanasema it's a community thing. Unashindwa, if it's a community thing and I'm a young person, why are you charging me like an outsider?
Sasa nyinyi mko na power social media, si mtuandikie hapo,
tumwanike
JCC wametulipisha 500, please help us raise this money. We want to do our event there.
I think this is a very big issue per se.
It is.
Just think of it. Unajua kama tuseme restaurants hizi zimefunguliwa na Wakenya, zinauza alcohol.
Yeah.
You just know 100% this place is not filtered. Unaelewa? But when we talk about church, we're talking about doctrine of God, you know? Tunaongea foundation of how God wants his community to be raised.
Yes.
And we must agree here, based on the conversation Pasi amesema, they are not united.
That's true.
They are not united. And the reason being, tukisema hivyo Pasi, the only time ndio na preachers wote pamoja
mazishi.
Yeah.
Unaona? Majority tutapata kwa mazishi.
Yeah.
So
Very
I think
sad.
ni challenge yenye kama wewe unajua sisi ma youngster, then form that board yenye sisi tutakuwa tuko comfortable tufanye event zetu, even though tuko na hizo facility mnatupatia. Tunaifanya event zetu whereby some people will be themselves. Because if you want to win a soul, for you to, unaona kupanda hizo stairs, always ruka tu rudi chini. It takes time. Tuko na young kids that right now already washajua hii church nishafungiwa. So even though you set event kwa your place, they're not going to be themselves, they're not going to come. But if you start with a project whereby it's neutral, then with time we start doing church events, itakuwa ni sawa. So pasi ukiona tunaitisha do, tufanye place money, tusaidie tu for now.
Lakini Freddy, ndio maana tuko na event ya parents na pastors, the parents, mwengi wao. The essence of that ni kuwa tunafaa kuongea, tuone the need. Tunafaa kucategorize shida za watoto, adolescent and teenagers, tuone ni aje tunaweza saidiwa. Na kama ni events za youth zinafaa kufanywa, kama tuko na hall kwa kanisa, ni building ulishanunua. Ni nini wewe kama pastor unafanyia youth wako yenye hiyo building uko nayo inaweza wasaidia? If there is going to be a need identified when it comes to the challenges parents are facing in our conversation in the Daima event, then some of these churches should be the place, should be offering solutions. If we need a space, if that's all we miss, then it shouldn't be something that is very hard to provide, especially to the youth. Na pia kitu ingine, nilisema tuko kwa nchi yenye kuna so much opportunities. With good structures, hata serikali hapa inaweza tusaidia. Na vitu vingine ndogo zenye hatuna. So sielewi kwa nini kuna mvutano na msuko kati ya wazazi na kanisa na vijana wetu, in a way that we cannot responsibly grow up well as youth. Because I can also say youth ni watu wazima. They also need to start thinking in a direction that will give them a better future. Because once you are able to go to school, you are in college, then you should know the reason why you're in college. If you still don't know, then you are at the wrong place. So then how are we able to harness all these beautiful minds to create a very safe space for youth, children, and parents to feel comfortable without feeling like we are competing?
And also, we also have to do another thing. We have to really divorce the idea of the church. I think that is where we are going wrong. I think you guys are focusing so much on the church and you miss many opportunities that are out there. So if Freddy comes to me and says, Pasi, I really wanted to do an event, and even if we were united, right, in a church, we wanted to do an event, we are looking at this date, is your hall available for me? Your event might not necessarily be what we call churchy. You get it? It may not be churchy. And so if it is not churchy, I excuse you for how you're doing event. Come to me, I'll support you however I can. So don't beat us down so much because we are not supporting you fully. Because, guys, the truth is that the church is structured in a way that there's church outside the four walls, but at the foundation of the church is preaching the gospel. So that is the mandate of the church, right?
Yeah.
So there are some things that the church will not involve itself with to a certain extent. They are going to come, I'll support Freddy's vision from this side, knowing Freddy needs finances at this time for this particular event.
Yeah.
Because if I give you my hall, hautalete keroro.
Yeah.
Sawa.
Kuna mangwai.
Nani chali akiperform hata kuja na dema tu akapo kwa pulpit kwa umeita altar hapo kwa unaona, so unaona sasa hapo wanafeel wako limited. So kama hizo vitu zitakuwa kwa event yako, then I understand why you are taking it to a different place. So let me come to support you as the young people, but also don't blame me for saying you can't do it at church.
Hiyo ndio maana inafaa kuwa categorized. We categorize the needs. We will identify those that can work in your hall.
I like that.
And we will also work with those that need to be worked on where we are twerking, wherever they are supposed to be done. So that
na
you
kila
get,
kitu iko sawa. Ukitaka kutwerk kuna watu wako place ya kutwerk.
Pale kwa wazazi.
Yes.
When we were growing up, church ilikuwa kitu tuna grow nayo from childhood. Nilikuwa najua mimi nimelelewa kwa church inaitwa Nomia Church. Ni kama lejo. So the only thing ilikuwa inani separate na my church when I grew up ni kuwa nimetoka ninaenda kuolewa. So nimeolewa ama ninaolewa na mtu mwenye ako Catholic. So sasa lazima nifuate kanisa ya baba ya wa nyumba.
Kweli.
And it was not an issue in a way my pastor in Nomia was preaching that would lead me and my family or my mom to take us all out of one particular church. Naona hao ni wazazi wenye wanayumba. Na probably hawajui ni nini wanataka kwa kanisa. This Sunday I can preach very well. Can be amazing. Next Sunday ujui niliamka aje. Kitabu inapotea. Imefuta yote. So you realize that you cannot judge me based on certain things on particular days. So then wazazi wetu pia wanafaa kujua kama kanisa ni kitu muhimu kwa watoto. We start guiding them in a way that we are also very straightforward. Si ati leo tunataka kwenda kwa Pastor Steve, kesho tunataka kwenda kwa huyo pastor mwingine. It's going to make a child confused. Be steady yourself so that you can have a steady child also as they grow. So parents need to watch out on certain things.
Amazing. Now let's talk about sex. Pastors and parents.
Freddy alikuwa anamalizia.
Freddy ulikuwa unataka kumalizia? Funga hiyo.
Nifunge hiyo chapter.
Ifunge hiyo chapter.
The most important thing manze, like we said, unajua hao watu wamefungua hizi vitu za anasa tuseme au waiko filtered sana basi. But tukikuja kwenye nyinyi mapasta, it's just like there's no any other option but to follow God's mandate and regulation that's available there. And I think the rule number one is to be able to have that love. So even ile young soul mwenye alitendewa na pastor na akabelieve church ni kitu ya utiaji, he also needs another chance. Unajua? So I think it's important bado pasi ukiweza kama sahi message inatoka kwa youth man, iende tu kwa hao mapasi wazae ama wale wenye wanatengeneza church yao. Try your best manzi kama event zetu. Hata wana twerk. Kuna some point pasi labda ulikuwa unavuta bangi ukiwa myang. Maybe. Kila mtu ana history.
Huyu akai kali.
Kila mtu ana history. Kila mtu ana history.
Yeah.
So kila mtu ana history. Au kuzaliwa kuwa pastor.
Everybody's got a past.
Unavuta ngoi.
So wale wenye walivuta bangi na wale wenye wakuvuta bangi.
Mimi nilikuwa kutengeneza.
Unacheki? Yamanishaje? Hao walipata hiyo chance ya ni grace ya God iliwatoa through that process. And then they became a preacher. So please don't act like you never fell short of temptation. Now mavijana wenye wamepotea saa hii, in the process of us building these things, tunataka to try a little best to accommodate community yetu through guidance yenyu. Hata kama unanipatia pesa ya kutwerk, eventually tumesave one soul from that suicide. That's all I can say. It's all love, man.
Na mimi nitamalizia kitu moja. There is something that the youth in my church, I always tell them. Whatever they do, I want them to feel my support. If they are doing something, an event, a birthday party, whatever it is, I'll try to be there or support them. This is what I would say to Freddy and all the other young people out there. If you go to a church, if your pastor does not support you to the to your expectation. He doesn't understand you, or you're in the wrong place. I think we should go next to the next question.
Mkuje JCC. The next question is about sex. This is for hata ni parent. Kwa hivyo hata unaingilia hapo.
Kweli bro.
Huyo kwa parent ama kwa sex?
Zote. Hatujue. We have grown in a community that we don't talk about sex. I think most of us here can agree nobody taught us about sex. Some of us we learn through online. Now or pastors, you know. So now we have a generation that is growing, and actually we are in a society where they are being told same sex is it's great. It's amazing. We have pastors saying same sex nyinyi mnaenda shetani akona nyinyi hivi first class hell. And then we have pastors telling young people don't have sex before marriage. Na siku hizi tunaanza na honeymoon, marriage baadaye. So that's for pastors. Utatujibu how you handle that. Parents, how do you go about talking to young people about sex, especially when it comes to same sex, and telling them about is it right or wrong, and how to interact with people who are of the same sex, who are telling them, I'm a guy and a guy is cool. How or maybe they're in school and then they see two dads and two moms. They're trying to figure out this thing, what's going on. How are you guys prepared in educating them? And also, they're being trained in school like it is okay to have a girl, it's okay to be, you can call yourself they, them, whatever. And now the church, I wish Kenyan churches manzi I wish walikuwa wamejenga mashule, because like right now if you want to take your child to a Christian school where they have to be brought in a good moral, it's very expensive. So for that sex, we start with mom. How are you able to educate your kids about same-sex marriage, sex before marriage, and how to interact with other young people who have been taught that being of the same sex, it's okay, and you guys can marry and so forth and so stuff?
Being in a community where things are changing very fast. Technology is at its peak. It is very, very hard to hide information from our children. Because you don't give it to them, they will go find it. They will watch, we watch parents kiss. We watch people holding hands. We get to meet same-sex doing stuff that we think our children should not be exposed to. But they already are. So the best, our parents should employ open dialogue with the children. It is proving very difficult coming from a community where we did not know certain things until a particular age. Right now, our children start knowing so much about sex at a very young age. Open dialogue and explaining what they see as they are, as simple as they are, is one great way that I think we can start having those conversations with our children. I understand there's a lot of influence, and like I said, they spend so much more time at school than at home. And in school, they are integrated differently. This is where they are also being taught how to use pronouns. And they have to decide or get confused on who they want to be at some point. Back home, sometimes we'd call it a stage that would fizzle, but there are some kids that it sticks on. It's a bit challenging for us, and especially from our cultural background, but it's something we have to start talking about no matter what. It's facing us head on, and hiding or trying to brush it away will not help. And I'm speaking from a point of view where I was raised, we stayed mostly with our dad. Mom was in the suburbs. And Dad had to buy us sanitary towels. Dad had to know everything that was going on in my life as a girl. It was 3 girls and 3 boys after. So then how was my father going to be able to interact or get to know things about me if I did not talk? So it's because of the open conversation that was there between Dad and us that we were able to tell Dad, Daddy, I need money. We didn't hide it for sanitary towels. And then if you start having open dialogue with your children about he, she, they, them, about sex, the importance and the dangers, the times because as a child, they also need to know the stages of life.
Yes.
If you know you're a child, this is none of your business. You don't have business having sex at 2 years, 3 years, unless it's and we know it is an ill or a wrong done to you that can be taken to court. So then we teach our children to openly talk about bad things that may happen to them.
Yeah.
We teach them what it means to identify people who may be brutally abusing them sexually. So then they get to freely interact with us if they get into places or spaces where they're hurt.
Yes.
And then as they grow up, they will also be able to tell me, Mommy, I have started my periods. How do I go about this? Or I saw this and this. How do I go about it? A son will come and tell you, I saw this. I remember one day my son telling me, I woke up and my entire bed was
wet.
and I don't know what to tell him. I looked at him and I told him, baby, go talk to daddy.
Yeah.
Because without open conversations, I don't think my son would tell me that.
True.
Yeah.
So let's employ open conversations about what is here with us. And let's know that the television, the phones are already exposing our children to things that we never got exposed to until very late.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basi, my youth, you tell them you have to wait till you're to marry, don't have sex. Wao wanapigana. Wanaanza na honeymoon. And then we have the same sex. Munawambia nyinyi air flight yenyu first class. Hell. How do you go about that as a pasi? And as a parent, you have boys.
Yes, I have 3 boys. Now, this is the reality. And that is why you have to catch up to the times. The truth of the matter is that I don't want to pigana.
Mbaya.
So I was talking to my boy is about to be 16, and soon he'll be leaving for college.
Yeah.
I told him when I drop you to college, a very smart kid. I told him when I drop you to college, I'll give you 2 things.
Yeah.
I'll give you one other thing. Then the other thing I told him I'll give him is a condom.
Ooh.
Give him condoms. And he said, why?
Yeah.
I did not tell him because I don't want you. I said, I'm not giving you. I'm not just giving you for any reason. The reason I'm giving you is because I want you to be responsible.
Yes.
And I want us to have a conversation to that point.
Yeah.
It is not if he will have sex. It is when.
Yes. Say that again.
It is not if he will have sex. It's when.
Yeah.
When?
So when you have sex, I want you to use protection.
Yeah.
For different reasons, right? But the thing namwambia is the least that can happen, like the good is not good, but it is good.
Yes.
Is somebody gets pregnant.
Yes.
Before someone gets pregnant, you can get sick. Then I start telling him how you can get sick. So namwambia vitu zinaweza fanyika mpaka anaogopa. So that nikimpatia maybe atarudishia the whole box. Si unanunua Costco unamwambia in case
isha nikamie.
Nataka by the time anakuja home aniambie ile
dad cheza kaa wewe.
But I think what I'm trying to say is honestly to have an honest conversation with them. But to go back to the question, as a pastor, I get to, first of all, it's an honor for young people to trust me with their spiritual life. So I lead a lot of young people.
Yeah.
And one of the stresses that pastors don't like, one of the reasons pastors don't like dealing with young people is because kutakuwa na watu kulimana, kutakuwa na pregnancy.
Yes.
So a boy comes to my office and says, Maze, dem anakuja anasema kuna mimba ya huyu. Na kijana mmoja alikuja, kijana akaniambia mimi si yangu. Nikamwambia kama uliingia ulitumia silaha za vita.
Utamu lazima tu
vita vitakatifu.
Akasema hapana. aliniambia ako sawa, nikaambia usiwahi amini. Lakini kama alikwambia ako sawa na amesema wewe ndio baba ya mtoto, the best thing to do is umwamini, go through the whole process. Na ukifika hospitali, get your DNA, then you can say to us that don't neglect now. It's too early for you to say no. So long as you are involved, go ahead and so I deal with that as a pastor that pastors young people. I deal with that all the time.
Okay.
But I talk to them about sex, and I don't live in a world thinking it is not happening. That is like burying your head in the sand, right? It is happening. So it is telling them there is sex, then there is safe sex.
Yeah.
So teaching safe sex, then I teach them what God would want. Because the reason why we are telling you to wait till marriage is because hii kitu bwana ukionja uwezi acha.
Imeenda.
Okay. That is the only reason. Nobody should tell you anything else. The reason is because tunakwambia usionje. Sababu ukionja sasa hautaanza. Sasa kama ni girlfriend yako wa high school na umemuonja kabla uende college, ugraduate. Sasa tunaona utaonja sana.
Itakuwa normal.
So that is why we try. That is why we try to tell you if you can wait.
Yes.
If you can wait by the mercies of God.
Lakini mayouth wa this siku hizi kuwait ni ngumu.
Hawangoji sasa itabidi tu tuone nayo venye iko. Lakini young as a pastors I think when you are exposed you understand that is happening and so even as parents you understand that is happening. That's why Rosie said since you know it is happening then you give your child space to be able to talk about it with you because guess what? If you don't teach him, the people that are going to teach him they don't even know it. So he's going to learn them from the wrong people because it is his age mates who have done it. And say, ujawai. Ikidu ni tamu. Tujaribu. You know, so I think we just have to change to understand the world is changing and change with it. And it's a taboo for us growing up. Atuambie mzee.
I think pia ma stations zilikuwa zinatu avoid to have sex. Everything was about tumechill. Alafu I think hiyo time wase tulikuwa tunagoya kupata AIDS.
Walete. Sasa siku hizi AIDS wanasema hata si kitu bwana.
I think just to add on top of that, both of you Rose and Pasi, including DJ Saint right here. Different generation, different struggles. Manze sahi, everybody has phones. Yani sex like iko advertised everywhere. You know what I mean? Hakuna, yani iko tu kila mahali. Ingia Instagram kidogo, kuna mtu ana. You know, it's just everywhere. And Pasi, I think I give you credit man for you to say unamba ya kondiko. Hata siku najua naweza Costco. I think Pasi
amejiprepare.
Nakupatia credit sana. Lakini message inaenda kwa youth man. We all fall short. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. But that does not mean there is a room for improvement. Unajua? Kila mtu akona hiyo chance ya kupata room ya kuimprove to become better. So kwa wale wame fall short na kwa wale labda bahati mbaya ama bahati nzuri. Unaelewa? Maintain tu. Unaelewa? Because now tukianza kutaka kuishio doctrine ya persevere na kuonyesha kila kitu iko sawa, kuna watu wenye wanajipata situation yenye wana avoid your family responsibility. Unaelewa? Na kama Mungu amekupangia kila kitu, everything will always work out. So for those already naongea about young generation, wenye labda wanapigana bado, tuache. Na I hope pia church zita create environment ya kutusaidia sima youth tuoane, si ndio? But na kwa wale wenye labda ishafanyika, it's not end. Unaelewa? Just come back together and there is beauty in this thing coming together. So usiachilie mama struggle, na usiachilie chali yako ende hivyo. Na pia tusiabort sana.
There is hii ni saa anybody can nini. Pasi kuna moja ujajibu ya homosexuality. Unawaambiaje wakikuja kuambie sisi Pasi mimi nimeamua kwenda sim 2, mimi ni sim 2. Tunataka kufanya wedding. Au wase unawapea advice gani?
Number 1, mimi nafanya membership. Weddings za members peke yake. So ukiwa member wangu kabla kwanza uende sim 2. Lakini unajipata sim 2. Nakwambia Mungu akiumba alikuwa very strategic. Angeweka macho yako kwa kisogo. Aliweka hapa ndio uone mbele. Angeweka masikio yako kwa mapua. ati mapua iko on your right side. Kila kitu aliweka mahali pake.
Yeah.
There are some organs that were created for entrance and some for exit.
Yeah.
Don't try to change that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because once you try to change that, then you're messing up with God's creation.
Yes.
Somebody that finds themselves in that place is a struggle for many different things. This is like a whole topic. I've been in a sitting where I talked about it from a whole topic. Because there are people for some reason wasikia tu ni madem.
Yeah.
Hata vile anaongea. Kila tu ingine ni child lakini venye anaongea vile maisha yake imegrow because maybe of upbringing. So that's a whole different lesson. But for those people, first of all, I think love conquers everything.
Yes.
You cannot hate anybody that is doing that. You can only guide them.
Yeah.
In our church, we've seen people who have come. Some wako tu.
Yeah.
who ukiwaangalia unaona ni kama wacheze ile timu nyingine.
Yeah.
You know, it's because they don't feel condemned. And if you can love somebody to a point, mtu ako na njaa ataki umwambie how lazy they are. Feed them first, then now start helping them to get a job.
Yeah.
Mtu mwenye already kwa hiyo situation, love on them first. Let them feel that love first. Then start directing them to the right way. So it is something that we will deal with in this generation, but I think the best thing is to first of all to teach that hiyo vile nimesema kuna exit na entrance as early as they are. Sababu sasa wanasomea chuo. Sasa wanasomea chuo. Wanafundishwa chuo, wanaambiwa kwanza kuna countries zingine wanaambiwa sasa hata wakidecide wakiwa 5 years old waanze kunywa dawa.
I think Canada.
But waanze kunywa dawa sasa mpaka wajibadilishe.
Yeah.
We are dealing with that and it is coming.
Yeah.
Because the whole world is a small village. So it is coming where you are. It might take time, but it will come.
Yeah.
So the best thing is to teach, of course, that part that I've said, but also as a believer now, as a pastor, I think my first responsibility is to preach the word, but also what God expects above everything, to love on those people.
Yeah.
And like Freddy amesema, kuonesha msee, hata kama umeanguka umeblanda in one way, that's not the end of life. There's something more that can be done. So ningori tunadili tu nave inakuja lakini God had to help.
Freddy.
Yes sir.
Wengine maybe ni malele. Wamekuja kwako lakini wazazi hawajui wani wasimtu. Una handoaje hiyo situation?
Maze ni tough, Like I said, the country tumekama hapa, majority of us were not prepared. Juu me the other day nilikuwa na watch news, all of a sudden nimechekia hapo wase wanapigana monjus pale. Unaelewa? Nilikuwa na kadem kangu pale. Unajua? Na mimi what's happening over here dad? Unaelewa? Hiyo ni kitu jambiwa Kenya kwa visa, ukienda kuchukua visa, watu waambiwagi hivyo. Unaelewa? So unapata mtoi yako 6 years anakuuliza hivyo. So huyu mtoi anapiga 8 hours chuo. Sijui wazazi wa huyu mtoto huyu mwingine ni mahali. Unajua? Even though you take your kids to a Christian school, some parents change.
That's true.
Some parents just decided, maybe my partner was not nice to me, we divorce. Na huyu labda mother ameamua, mother mwingine ndio
akofiti.
Wanaleta mtoi chuo na it's a Christian school. God is love. Unaelewa? So mtoi yako anaweza fika situation na kuulize, ni aje mama nani na mama nani ndio wamekuja kama parents. They don't even have dads, you know. You itongo aje kudance na mtoi.
Daughter dad.
They don't have that. Unaelewa? But she still looks like a female. No. So it's just the environment that we are on. I think the biggest issue kuna something behind it. Unaelewa? There's something behind it. And if you really go deep, I'm always just be willing to listen. Mtu atakwambia reason. Labda venye lireiziwa, maybe through experience I'll go now. Unajua? Na hiyo ni kitu labda zitaka kwambia mzai.
Kweli.
Labda naweza sema anko yangu alinifanyia mambo. Na mimi nimejaribu madem na struggle. Anko aliweza. Mimi naona tu nirudi hiyo side. Unaona? So kuna hizo. So with that being said, ni go back to the roots to find out why you're doing that. Na kuachukua venye yako, and then with time, everybody can always improve.
So as we wind up, the other one, we have other group of young people, they have decided to play safe. Inaitwa kunyonga sasa siku hizi, it's a big deal. Kuna maboy wameamua kazi yao ni kunyonga. madem na wao ni kutumia wanaziita tu rose wengine rabbit toys right as a anybody can answer right from parent per se. How do you handle point kwa sababu saa wanadai tunacheza safe since pasi na wazazi wanadai to see have sex. I'm gonna get me a rose. If it's a guy, mimi na Rimis same WhatsApp group. So wameamua kazi yao ni to rose na kunyonga.
Hata kwa kipofu. Ndio maana siku hizi watu wa miwani. Watu wa miwani waogope sana.
Wengine wana practice pull out. Wanadai mimi ni pro sana ku pull out. So haiwezi kuwa ngori. Haona watu na wahando aje.
Wacha mzazi kwanza aseme. Basta atazema. Mimi nimeona vibovu nimeombea.
Really tough question. And like you call it, it's playing safe.
Yes.
The advancement or the way technology and life is changing is really fast. And so is the mindset of humans.
Yes.
And people are trying to learn new tricks and new things every day. Probably ni kunyonga itamsaidia. Atoke kwa hiyo temptation ya kufanya kupea dem mwingine ball. Probably ni kutumia rose ndio itamsaidia asiget ball. Nona. So it's a tough situation for us parents, but you will still find parents who are advocating for the same. Because one way or the other, it saves them something that they are probably may not be proud of. My child got pregnant too early. My son made another girl pregnant. But all in all, my solution is talking to our children.
Yes.
Open dialogue forums can help us learn a lot and can make us understand where we are at in life. Just like my grandmother used to teach me and tell me that at 13 years old, I am still not able to raise a child of my own. Then I should be able to go to school, finish my school, then be able to graduate or get a job to be able to fend for that particular child. Once we start educating our children, our youths, on the roles of different stages of life, then they may also be able to understand that we probably don't even need kunyonga. When it's time for us to do it for sure, it will happen and it will be better that way. And in which case they follow the right path. Si lazima kunyonga. Si lazima kutumia rose. So let's continue just employing dialogue and being very open and realistic with our kids, because we cannot stop innovation. We cannot stop technology. We cannot stop the things they see right in front of you. Things will happen and will continue to happen, but conversation and making it very clear and understandable can help us change a lot.
Basi.
Acha Freddy kwanza aseme.
Freddy.
Mimi nilianza
nikamwambie.
Okay. I think Pasi nimeweza kumuona hivi siku hizi anapiga golf sana. Of which I found out just lately. Amekuwa top golfer. Juzi nikaona mambo ya Turkey. So what it means, anything you practice, you become better. In the beginning, Pasi when you learn golf, you struggled. Sasa inaonanga kila time mtu anapost akishinda trophy. So that means he has become better. You end up mastering what you're doing. So the moral of the story is this. Hata kama unanyonga. Hata kama unapiga remis. Hata kama unatumia rose coco.
Bro, fanya mkono.
Pasi gani?
Unapatikana ndio hiyo.
Ula amekuzu.
Hata kama
unanyonga
utakuwa better. Na at the end of the day, we need companion.
That's true.
Utajipata sasa umeoa mama pale, umeenda kupiga shughuli yako, performance ya engine iko low. Because now we become master of it. So I think the root of it, either kuna mtu labda kwa depressed, labda kuna mtu mwenye anatumia simu sana, imekuwa addicted to it. So try your best kuavoid as much as you can. Na tunahitajiana sana. Hii kitu ni tamu kioa.
Kweli?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Acha niongeze kitu kidogo kabla Pasia
ongeza.
As he was saying, and everything you do continuously become better.
Yeah.
It also reminded me how idle are our children and youth.
Yeah.
And what are some of the other things we can introduce?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sasa ndio hii story ya structures zenye tunataka.
Yes.
Yeah, kweli.
Okay?
Wakuwe busy.
Hizi structures kama tunaweza ongezea kuwatoa kwa idleness na idle mind yenye wanaenda wana Google.
Kweli.
Tukianza kufundisha watoto wetu etiquette on certain things kama simu tuko kwa meza.
Yeah.
We are all culprits. Uko na simu ding ding umefungua message. Sasa yenye watu wanakula dinner.
Yeah.
Tukianza kujifunza certain things pole pole, najua tunaweza kuwa we may look far gone, but we are not hard to reach.
Yeah.
We can still come back and build step by step. Let's create more activities. Let's identify other things that we can do so that our
can help on that.
children can stop exploring too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I'll go back to venye nilikuwa nimesema mwanzo that every organ iko na kazi yake.
Yes.
And being open about the function because the body is changing and saizi vile tumesema social media mazee, hata mimi mwenyewe nafunguaga Instagram yangu hivi sababu hujui nani atapost. Naweza tu kaa hivi tu pigwa na kipicha hapo. Alafu saizi umeangalia tu hivi tu alafu usikie hey Pastor Steve. Alafu jina uchome. You know. So I think it would be important also as parents kuongea na your kids, and I think I like what Freddy amesema that ukipractice sana utakuwa mnoma hiyo kitu. Let me tell you, ukiambia boy wako that ukiendelea hivi this will be the only way. That so you can warn somebody the things that might happen. Ndio maana walileta hii kitu ya kusema utakuwa kipofu. Ndio itatutisha. Kama hii generation hata macho mpya unaweza ekwa. They don't care. So if you talk to them and tell them that this is the reality, this is what can happen. This is how this may inaweza kucost at the end of it. It's an honest conversation, and that means creating a safe space to discuss such topics, and also being open. You as a leader, as a mentor, as a mother, as a father, as a pastor, that somebody can approach you and they don't feel judged.
Yes.
Somebody can come and say, hey mzee mimi wazee nimejaribu. Nimeenda 2 days. Shetani jua alitoka wapi sana ya usiku. Nilienda kutafuta mafuta usiku. Unaongea unabonga na mzee. Unakuwa honestly you can be and we should be approachable. Somebody can trust you and they know that the next time they meet you will not even remember what they shared with you. But you told them do 1, do 2, do this because to be honest hata kama ni wewe kama ushai go through kitu kama hiyo ukiambia msee by the other mimi kuna time moja kama mimi naambiaga wase naambiaga the first porn that I watched hii kitu itabidi muedit hapo
to edit
the first porn that I watched I think I was about 13 ndio class 7 13 years right we were in class 7 and best yangu fulani anakuwa activist Kenya, very famous activist. Ukisikiza stories zake alifungulia go video shop. Alifungulia go video shop, alikuwa na video shop. He's a very big activist in Kenya. We grew up together as brothers. Akaniambia so hiyo video yenye alifunguliwa na budake akasema ni aje?
Twende.
Saa 4
kuja.
Wewe kuja. Ilikuwa tu karibu na wao. Kama saa 4 wewe kaa. Saa 4 ikafika mimi nikae. Mimi najua tuenda kuona Rambo. Lakini ajino mbona ananiambia nikuje saa 4. Kufika hapo napata mabuda hapo na magomba. Wameingia ndani akaambia do hivi. Hizo video zilikuwa na mlango 2. Hii ya kuingia alafu kulikuwa na mlango yuko nyuma. Ndio maana makarao akikuja walikuwa na park gari kwa mlango moja alafu anaingilia nyuma. Ni wote mnaingia kama mmeingia kwa gari yao. So akasema come your time. So akaniambia sasa sababu sisi tutakaa huko juu. Mahali sasa alikuwa ka ofisi kao. Tukaishia. Kukaa hivi na by the TV era sijui ilikuwa hata zidani ilikuwa 50 iko hata si 55 inch kan TV. Nikaona bibi kwa nikastuka. Sasa kustuka nikaanza kucheka. Nikapigwa mangoto nikafukuzwa hiyo place. Lakini nikaambia bro ile kitu tuliona jana. hiyo sasa itabidi tupange tuone vizuri sikuona poa so kaambia sasa tutafute saa zile tumefunga ufunga saa ngapi tuone so mimi na huyo best yangu Baadaye nilishakusamea. Alikuwa hapa siku moja tulikuwa na Saint nilimwambia nishamforgive. Alionyesha vitu siku afaa kuwa na mapema hivyo. But unapata hatakuwa na access ya hizo vitu. Sasa hizi hiyo access iko everywhere. Na the reality of the matter is that ukiona kitu kama hiyo kuna something that happens to your brain. So the best thing that you can do is to only teach your child the dangers of something like that. Then you end up just praying for them. But be very open with them what it can do and real causes. Unajua acha kwambia mtu yeye atakuwa blind sababu atafanya research. Hapo tu mkiwa na yeye chini ya meza utagoogle sababu unaweza ukakuwa blind. Ni stories za jaba wewe. Unakuwa blind wapi? Nimeangalia research hakuna blind. So but ukimwambia ukweli hii wakati utamari sisi kumbe unaweza taka kumari wakati utamari maze unaweza kosa kutosheleza wife na hakuna kitu mbaya kama wife anze wewe kama dem unaweza kosa kutosheleza hazi yako so realities of life something that anaweza relate nayo then maybe that is the only way to help it man other than that ni Mungu asitusaidie bana tough
swali ya mwisho stories za tei ngwai fentanyl hizo stuff zote most of the times sisi tumeintroduce a story kama tei bangi na community some of us tulizifanya juu ya peer pressure what can we do as pasis na parents kwa sababu I don't think it's something that they have a conversation with rather than preacher saying nyinyi mnakunywa pombe mnavuta bangi mtaenda hell lakini wakienda house parties wanaambwa buda ukivuta kindukulu my guy this is the way because of peer pressure they go ahead and do it as parents and pastors how can you guys be or how can we be able to sit down with young people and talk to them about madhara ya hizo stuff zenye wana use na wasikuwe na peer pressure because mi usema I will be the first one to introduce my son to tei na mangoi nitazieka hapo chini and then nitamwambia madhara ya hizo stuff zote I decide what does he want rather than for me to assume he's gonna learn from society and then I end up kwa ina mess na niambia buda huko niambia stories za tei zitanifanyia hizi what's your take guys anybody can take it
tei ni noma bro tei ni noma na inakuja na environment ya mabeste like for me majority of my friends are still young na utajipata kwa environment it's just easy access to get to back then ilikuwa ni ngumu sahi kuna mpaka Uber you know Uber heavy inadropiwa so ni ngumu so I think the most important thing at the moment kama uko addicted is to just know at the end of the day kitu itakusaidia akunaga kwa hii dunia mtu anajulikanaga yeye ni mdeadly kwa fentanyl hakunanga mtu anajulikanaga ni mdeadly kwa pombe unaona so inanga king na inanga champion so at the end of the day you will still lose na hiyo pombe ilikuwa even before our grandparents ndio na itakuwa even after us but ukiangalia vizuri majority of the people that actually succeeded using it very rare unajua so try your best to abstain it as much as you can kama unaido na unajua you're in a position to overcome it poa na kama you're in the process knowing at the end of the day I need to overcome this itakusaidia tu sana
Pasi from a pastoral perspective most pastors preach watu wenye watu wanavuta bangi ama wanakunywa tei they will go to hell do you think they should change the strategy of how they deliver that message instead of kuambia kama venye tu umesema usiambie mtu ukinyonga utakuwa blind but be honest with them madhara yenye itakuwa nazo
I think we should change our approach number one tusiassume hawakunywi right but waambie too much of anything hata skari kitu yote kuna food ukieka chumvi kuna kiasi fiti kiasi ya normal right kuna venye ukieka more inaharibika everything too much of anything is poison so when we talk kama ni tei too much of it at the end of it kila mtu mwenye unaonaga ni addict, hakuna mtu wa mkamoni anasema mimi nitakuwa addict. Nitakunywa mpaka kieleweke. No. Inakuaga slowly, right? It's slowly but sure. So you talk to them from that perspective.
Yeah.
Pastor, uongo, congregation yako wanakunywa
mbaya.
So wewe tu preach hapo ni dhambi, but alafu wanakuambia Jesus will turn water into wine.
Yeah.
So
Paul aliambia Timothy hii.
Lakini yake ilikuwa ni dawa.
Ni dawa.
Hiyo ilikuwa specific.
Na hakumwaga.
Na ilikuwa kadogo lakini kadogo. In fact, ukitumia hizo scripture mbili, number 1. Acha kwanza hii nimalize haraka. Number 1, Jesus will turn water into wine. If you look at your Bible, inakuwa heading water into wine, but sio Jesus alisemaga hiyo ni wine.
Kweli.
The Bible says the best man who would test ndio alitest ya kwanza.
And he was drunk.
Na best man wenye wote nimeona wanakuwa amelewa kuliko mwenye harusi. So possibility za kuwa best man alikuwa tei. Kitu ya maana kabisa alisema nye watu avoid kusema is that ini na kunywa ni different na ile ingine.
Yeah.
Lakini Yesu alisema tu wapeni, ekeni maji alafu
mwapatia.
Labda ilikuwa kushukisha steam. Lakini hatutaijua. When it comes to Paul alisema kiasi, and that is what we should tell people, that kuna ile kiasi. Na unfortunately our people ndio hatujui kiasi. Mimi sijakutana na mzungu mwenye anastaga
kweli,
unless akweni madawa zingine ametumia. Pombe zijakutana na mzungu anastaga. Sisi hatujua hii kiasi. Maybe because wengine wetu hatunge afford tukiwa mtaani, so tumekuja hapa tukapata $5. Kuna ingia 7-11 watoka hapa. So I don't know if that is a problem, but I think we should be able to tell people, as I'm preaching as a pastor, to tell people that too much of anything is poisonous. Yes, if you're doing it, look at what it can cost you. And also, let us not be experts in everything, man. That's why I bring speakers in our church, because I'm not an expert kwa vitu zote. So nitalete mse mwenye ni expert a certain area, aongee na wase through their expertise on that particular topic. Na maybe somebody atasikia kitu from that.
True.
Otherwise mimi ukiniambia ni preach, nitakwambia tu wewe na hell ni matwins.
What's up?
Lakini nitakuletea mtu akwambie mazi. Na mwingine ana struggle because of ni stress, depression, mabeste, vitu mingi sana. Hiyo ya kukua ako peke yake hapa ama life imemchapa. There's all those reasons that are there.
Yes.
Let us not be judgmental. Let us try to help those people. And the most important, try to understand everyone that comes your way. That is the only way to help them.
Awesome. Rosie, parents.
Personal choices. Ni vijana ndio wanakunywa tei. Ni watu wazima. Tukisoma tulikuwa tunaoneshwa TV. The effects of having sex.
Yes.
Ali. Tungeona vile
usinikumbushe
vile vitu zimekulwa.
Okay?
Ugonjwa imekutengeneza vizuri. And you would not try. You would dare not to try. Have sex until the right time. The good thing about this time is we have access to all this information. Tunajua consequences za kukunywa bangi, consequences za kukunywa too much pombe. Let us sit down and watch these things with our youths and our children without shying and talking about it. My son was diagnosed with vitiligo. I almost got into depression before I talked to him about it. But when I showed him a video of how that could affect him, he's the one who made me get back to being myself. Because he told me, Mama, this is just a skin condition. It doesn't change who I am. So sometimes kutopatia watu hiyo information inaweza fanya mtu afanye something too much. Meanwhile, akiona mwenyewe aende asome, ata make that personal choice, personal decision that this is not what I need right now. So tuendelee tu kuongea.
Thank you so much guys for coming. Hii conversation imekuwa very healthy. I'm sure there are some young people out there will watch this and they will be encouraged. They will be inspired and they will try to make changes. So guys, as we wind up, someone would like to reach any of you. You want to shout out your social media. Pasi, someone would like to come to your church and say, Pasi tuna resonate. Anaweza kuja church. Freddy, umesema uko na daima. Anaweza come through ama kuchip in.
Yes, sir.
Rosie, amesikia uko parent ana understand akozile I would like to have a conversation with you because mzazi wangu anisikii wangu ananiambia tuombe nikumwagilia anointing oil so mpatie give us your social handles or your cell phone where they can reach you.
Well, my social handles on Facebook I'm Roslyn Nyendo. On Instagram I am Tamara Roses, but still Roslyn Nyendo you'd find me. On TikTok I'm Royal Finesse.
Yeah.
And I also have a Royal Finesse page for events planning and decor.
Yeah.
So you can reach me out on those. And I'm also a fashion influencer.
Okay.
So you can come watch me on my Instagram page, on Facebook. I have partnered with Express clothing brand to showcase some of their clothes, and I have a shop.
Amazing.
So if there's anything you always like on my page, you can always follow me. I will send you a link. You'll get good discounts and good stuff for yourself.
For men
and
or
also
just
I'm here
women?
for business. Everything.
Yes. Pasisi ucheze kawe hapo hivi
Manze Express. Kwa freeway hapo.
Kuna kila kitu.
Okay. Hey,
Yes.
Rosie, swali
Namba
baadaye
yangu.
nimekumbuka. Before you give us your number.
Okay.
You're so beautiful. Na hiyo melanin ina pop. How is your DM? How is your DM?
Najua penye unaenda.
How is your DM?
DM yangu naweza handle.
Unaweza handle?
Can manage.
Unaimanage vizuri?
Sana.
Alright, give us-
Asante sana.
So watu wasilide kwa DM ama umeiblock?
Well, iko open.
Okay.
DM ndio iko open.
Oh, DM iko
Yes.
open.
Wewe uko closed.
Wewe uko
Rosie,
closed.
achana na yeye. For the eyes only.
Sawa, tupe number.
My number is 425 245 6458. Call me and let's catch up.
Thank you. Pasi.
Hizo social media ni mingi. Mbona ulianza na yako na zote? So
Hata
mimi
TikTok umesema?
Amesema mpaka Tinder.
So church ni JCC Kent. Tuko Central Avenue Kent. 827 Central Avenue North 98032. Tuko Facebook as Jubilee Covenant Center. Tuko pia Instagram as JCC Kent. My personal social media ni Steve Ndegwa Facebook. Instagram yangu pia Pasi Steve. Instagram tukutane hapo. Instagram sana sana ni mavideo za golf. Hiyo ndio mimi hufanya kadisi preach.
Ready?
Yeah man.
Tuambie.
Mi nashukuru sana for the platform manze. Big up yourself, Chatroom 101. Kwa majina naitwa Freddy Mgani, Instagram MC Freddy Mgani.
Yeah.
Same thing with Facebook Freddy Mgani, you know. For Daima_community everywhere. www.daimaorganization.com. Hapo tuna create platform ya mayouth wana come together and most importantly the community at large. Kuna opportunities mob sana hapa US.
Yes.
Sio lazima kila mtu akuwe CNA, RN. Kuna watu hapo wanaweza make career wise in the land of opportunity. So tuna bring everybody together, tuna brainstorm, tutatap in aje. DJ Center amekuwa successful. Atafanyaje ule dude ametoka Kenya pia anaweza make a living. DJ Khalid ana multi-million, you know.
He just bought a jet, my God.
Unaelewa?
Maze.
So kuna opportunities mob. Wakutana kina Pastor Steve. How does it involve being a young pastor na kupiga swaga bala?
Na hakuli type.
Tamara Roses right here. Ako Express.
Yes.
Wewe ni Mkenya mgani unashasikia kwa Express?
Buda na venye wako expensive.
Sasa
Itabidi
skiza.
chiko hiyo code.
Huyu ni treasurer wetu pale. I think I'll miss out on that.
Okay.
But most importantly manze tunashukuru. Na wale wenye wanataka namba yangu mimi naichapa tu hapo nje.
Ichape.
253-232-0051. Tafadhali just send a message.
All right, guys.
Yeah, man.
That is them. Make sure you follow them. I want to say thank you so much, guys, for coming,
Thank you.
availing
Thank you for
yourself.
Thank you.
I value your time.
Thank you.
Na ninajua kuna wase pale hivyo they have heard and they have, yani, I'm sure they have learned something. So you make sure you watch and then comment hapo. Let us know how was the conversation. Make sure you subscribe.
Yes.
Amaze, tunaenda 500,000. We are heading there. So make sure you subscribe, watch, share with your friends, man. This is Chatroom 101. We out. Peace.